Usain Bolt owns the 100 meter world record, the 200 meter world record, Olympic records, world championship records, 150 meter world record, 9 Olympic golds, 11 world championships, and has the fastest speed ever recorded by a human being. But you already know how dominant he was. We all do. He was untouchable. But what happens when you take him away? What if he never ran a single race? What if Usain Bolt never existed? Who becomes the fastest man in history? Who wins all those Olympic gold medals? The 100 meter world record, the most famous number in all of athletics, 9.58. Berlin, 2009. Bolt did not just break the world record that day, he broke it so badly that the man who finished in second place, Tyson of the United States, ran 9.71 just trying to keep up with him. That is faster than any other athlete in history had ever run before in the 100 meters, and he still lost by a single stride length to Usain Bolt. On any other night in any other era, Gay's 9.71 would have won every championship ever held. Without Bolt, Tyson Gay is the 100 meter world champion. He owns the championship record and he is the fastest man in the world. His 9.71 from Berlin 2009 becomes one of the most celebrated runs in sprinting history. But it's not just the 100 meter world record that is affected. Usain Bolt owns 4 of the 7 fastest legal 100 meter times in history. You remove him and the top of that list looks completely unrecognizable. The next 2 fastest legal 100 meter times ever run are Tyson Gay and Yohan Blake. They both ran 9.69, the exact same number, but on different races. Tyson Gay ran his 9.69 in Shanghai in 2009 with a barely legal 2.0 tailwind. And Yohan Blake also ran a 9.69 in Lausanne with a wind reading of 0.09. That is a considerably cleaner run, and most experts would give Blake the edge for that exact reason. So without Bolt, the 100 meter world record is between these two men, Tyson Gay and Yohan Blake with the exact same time, 9.69. But Yohan Blake wins a tiebreak on a slightly less tailwind. The 200 meter world record. At the same meet, in that very same week, Bolt also reset the 200 meter world record in Berlin, running 19.19. He had already set it in Beijing the year before with 19.30, but both records are replaced by Michael Johnson's 19.32 from the Atlanta Olympics in 1996. That run back then was considered untouchable. Michael Johnson ran it in golden shoes, won the race by nearly a full second, and most coaches at that time said it would stand for decades. But Bolt took it down 13 years later. Without Bolt, Johnson's 19.32 survives, but it survives only up until 2011. In Brussels, Yohan Blake runs 19.26. That is the second fastest 200 meter ever run in history, behind only Bolt's 19.19. Blake's 19.26 breaks Johnson's 15-year-old world record, and in a world where Bolt does not exist, it becomes a new benchmark. The 150 meter world record. This one is less well known, but equally as incredible. In 2009, as part of a promotional street race in Manchester, Bolt ran 150 meters on a straight course and clocked 14.35 seconds. Inside that run, his 100 meter split was 8.70 seconds. That is a 100 meter split faster than the actual 100 meter world record pace. That number genuinely makes no sense. And without Bolt, that 14.35 does not exist. So, the new 150 meter world record holder becomes Noah Lyles, who ran the 150 meter straight in 14.41 seconds in 2024 in Atlanta. So therefore, he becomes the new world's best. However, that 8.70 split completely disappears too, and Noah Lyles was nowhere even close to it. Olympic 100 meter record. Bolt ran 9.69 in Beijing in 2008 to win his first Olympic 100 meter gold. Then in London in 2012, he ran 9.63, the fastest 100 meter ever run at the Olympic Games. Remove Bolt from Beijing 2008 and the gold medal goes to Richard Thompson of Trinidad and Tobago. Thompson ran 9.89 for silver. He would have become an Olympic champion. Thompson winning gold in Beijing would have been one of the most sport-defining moments in Trinidad's history. He would have been an Olympic champion, a national hero, probably one of the most celebrated athletes his country has ever produced. And remove Bolt from London 2012 and Yohan Blake takes the 100 meter gold. Blake ran 9.75 for silver that night, winning comfortably without Bolt on the track. The Olympic 100 meter record, the fastest time ever run in an Olympic final, becomes Blake's 9.75 from London. It is not 9.63, it is not 9.69, it is 9.75. A brilliant time, but a completely different ceiling from Bolt. Olympic 200 meter record. Bolt set the Olympic 200 meter record in Beijing in 2008 with a time of 19.30. Out Bolt, the gold medal goes to Walter Dix of the United States, who finished third after Tarandi Martina was disqualified for a lane violation. Dix ran approximately 19.98 and he becomes the new Olympic champion. Then London 2012 comes around. Bolt wins the 200 meters in 19.32, matching Johnson's old world record, and Blake finishes second with a time of 19.44. Without Bolt, Blake takes the gold and is the new Olympic champion. And then Rio 2016, Bolt wins his third consecutive 200 meter gold. Without him, Andre de Grasse of Canada, who ran 20.02 for bronze, moves up the podium. The World Championship record in the 100 meters, the fastest time ever run at a World Championships, is Bolt's 9.58. Without Bolt, that record belongs to Tyson Gay 9.71 from Berlin 2009. And Gay does not just win that race, he wins it in a dominant fashion, becoming back-to-back 100 meter world champion, having also won in Osaka 2007. Gay's 9.71 becomes the most celebrated time in World Championship history. World Championship 200 meter record. Bolt's 19.19 from Berlin is both the world record and the championship record. Without him, the gold goes to Alonso Edward of Panama, who ran 19.81 for silver in that race. But here's the thing, in Osaka in 2007, Tyson Gay won the 200 meter world title in 19.76. Without Bolt, in the Berlin final 2 years later, Gay likely defends that title, and Gay runs something in the low 19.6s to win. He sweeps the 100 and 200 meters at back-to-back world championships. Without Usain Bolt, Gay becomes the greatest sprinter of his entire era. World Championship relay record. Jamaica's 37.04 from Daegu is the World Championship record in the relay. Bolt ran a crucial ankle leg. Without him, that time is gone. Jamaica still has Blake, Carter, Frater and Powell, a terrifying relay team by any standard, but without Bolt on the anchor, their times drop dramatically. The United States team of Kimmins, Gatlin, Rogers and Patton ran 37.38 for silver in Daegu. Without Bolt, that US run is extremely more competitive for gold, and the relay landscape becomes significantly more competitive, and the US probably wins more multiple global titles they never even claimed in reality. Olympic relay gold. The fastest relay in Olympic history was Jamaica, running 36.84 in London 2012. Bolt anchored once again and closed out the race. The time of 36.84 is gone without him. The relay gold in London 2012 becomes a genuine race. Jamaica without Bolt is still strong, but not untouchable. The US, Trinidad and Tobago, and potentially even France are all competitive. The relay becomes a genuine contest again, instead of just a walkover. Speed record. The fastest speed ever recorded was 44.72 kilometers per hour, or 27.78 miles per hour, in Berlin 2009. This one is different because it's not a split or a finish time, it is a raw speed measurement. During his 9.58 world record run in Berlin, Bolt hit a top speed of 44.72 kilometers per hour. That was recorded during the 60 to 80 meter segment of the race. He covered that 20 meter stretch in approximately 1.61 seconds. Those numbers are just inconceivable. So without Bolt, no one even approaches 44 kilometers per hour in a 100 meter race. The next fastest top recorded speed in a 100 meter final belongs to Tyson Gay, measured at around 43.99 kilometers per hour during that same race in Berlin. Now Tyson Gay becomes the benchmark, and his speed gets celebrated properly instead of just being overshadowed. And without Bolt, World Championships would be dramatically different. Moscow 2013. Blake is dealing with hamstring issues, so he never fully recovers, and Justin Gatlin is starting to rebuild his career. He comes roaring back and wins the 100 meters in 9.85. Gatlin takes the title of 100 meter world champion. Beijing 2015. Gatlin once again. He runs 9.74, the fastest time in the world that year in the semis. And now in the final, without Bolt to beat him in that famous race, Gatlin wins the 100 meter world championship. At 33 years old, he is now a two-time world champion and a two-time Olympic champion in the 100 meters. That means the Bolt era of sprinting would be completely divided up. Gay would dominate from 2007 to 2009. Blake would become the fastest man ever from 2011 to 2012, and Gatlin would be unbeatable from 2013 to 2016. and then Coleman and Lyles would take over soon after. Every few years, the crown of the fastest man alive changes. Not one sprinter holds it consistently. No one even gets close to having it for a decade. In reality, Bolt dominated from 2008 to 2017. 9 whole years, 3 Olympics. Without him, that consistency simply does not exist in the sport. Without Bolt, those 9 gold medals simply do not exist. Nobody even comes close. The medals are spread around. The doubles go to Blake in 2012. The 100 meter in 2016 goes to Gatlin. The 200 meter in 2016 goes to Grasse or Merritt. No single athlete sweeps everything in a single Olympics, let alone 3 in a row. Tyson Gay and Yohan Blake step up as the fastest men to ever exist. And they tell 2 very different stories. Without Bolt, Gay becomes a multi-time world champion, a national hero, the man who ran 9.71 and actually became champion. The face of American sprinting in a way that never quite materialized in reality because Bolt was always 1 lane over, running something faster. Tyson Gay's entire legacy gets completely rewritten. Yohan Blake ran 9.69 and ran 19.26. Yohan Blake won both sprints in London 2012 in this separate reality. He holds the world records in the 100 meters and 200 meters simultaneously. At his peak in 2011 and 2012, no human being on Earth was faster. And everybody in sprinting is still trying to figure out how fast humans can actually go. That is the world without Usain Bolt.